So I got some goodies for the interior of the K10. This is the LMC upholstery kit. I don't think it looks that bad. It just came out of the box, so that's why it's got the corners on it. Got shipped a day early, can't complain. But I ended up going with this pattern versus the other pattern that has the horizontal bar going across it, because every seat that I seen, it looked like the horizontal bar kind of like sagged down in the middle and then came back up. And since this is the second set of seats that I will be upholstering in my life, I did the Mustang before of pulling the covers off and putting them back on, but I've never done it with brand new stuff. So we'll give this a try, see what happens. But I think it looks pretty good. It's got the foam on the inside. It's all the stitching. I mean, I'm not an upholstery person, so I couldn't tell you if it was good or not. I know a lot of people comment on how the stitching looks or how some certain pieces look, even though they're not in that line of work. So I don't know. I'm not an upholstery person, so to me, it looks good. So we'll give that a try. But on the seat frame itself, the cushion was good, but on the ends where the cushion sits on the frame, since it's framing and then it goes to the wires, it ripped the cushion apart. So I used a spray adhesive and I glued the cushion back together, and to hopefully get the cushion to just sit on top of the spring or the seat frame and not sinking down into it, I went to Harbor Freight and I got one of their $8 moving blankets, and I put it on and I rolled it over one time, trimmed it to fit the frame, and then it has screws and washers holding it to the frame all the way around to the other side. So when you sit in it, how you have that ledge, this is where the frame is, and then you got your springs. This frame itself won't continue to keep ripping into the foam. So that's why I have the big washers. When I put this on there, I put it on loose. I didn't pull it tight. It has a lot of room to be able to flex and move. I didn't want it tight because I knew if it was tight, over time it would just end up ripping this all apart. So it has a lot of slack in it. Not enough to bunch up, but it's enough to where it can flex a lot and not put stress on the parts where it's screwed down at. So just kind of trimmed it. I didn't get real crazy with it, just cut it. You ain't gonna see it, it's all gonna be covered anyways. So hopefully that will keep the ends of the seat up and level with the middle, and it won't be sagging. I didn't want to go too thick because everyone says that this upholstery will shrink, so I would rather it was just thick enough, and we'll see once I actually have it all together. But at least that's on there, so I'll start getting the upholstery on there. I don't have anything else to do on the frame. I just got to paint the seat tracks on it. But some of the other stuff that I got new pads for my clutch and my brake pedal and my e-brake. I have the old style clutch pedal assembly, so I got the pads for those, and then I got an 85 e-brake pad, separating it out. But one thing that I'm going to do, this would be the bottom half of the seat, is on the seat tracks where you would grab it and pull it so you can slide the seat forward and backwards. I'm missing that piece. They don't list the piece that goes on there. And like I talked about in the steering column video, this section needs to stay in the column so that that piece doesn't rotate around. So after I cut that, it'll leave me with this. Instead of being wasteful, I am going to weld this onto there. And I end up putting it like that, so once you flip it over, this will be facing up towards your leg, and the seat would be just behind it. So then you can just grab this, move it to the side, and then you can move your seat back and forth. So I think that should look pretty good. I'll just weld it on there a little bit, and that solves that issue. If you're missing the tube for connecting your AC from your central to the driver's side, that's what it looks like. For your driver's side vent, disconnects it over to that side. I didn't know what it looked like. They don't list this in the catalog. I thought it was like flex tube, but it's not. So that's what it looks like. If you're missing it, that's what you should be looking for if you can happen to find one. I just happened to found this in a truck. I also got the blend door vent for the passenger side. The whole truck was rusted into the ground, but somehow this was still in there. I just happened to move some junk, and there it was. And then the blend door was good. So I got that. And then I redid the gauge cluster. I tore it all the way down. Once you get into them, they're kind of blue and brown where the bulbs have kind of burned away the paint. What I ended up doing, the back side is blue on your black half of it. What I did was I scrubbed the housing itself and repainted it gloss white. And then on the black section, I just wiped it all down. And then all the gauges I wiped all down with a microfiber towel. No kind of solvent, no alcohol, no, just either a damp microfiber towel or just a microfiber towel. Because if you use anything on these gauges, you're going to take all that stuff off. So whatever they look like after you clean it with a microfiber towel, that's it. That's how they look. For the lens itself, I went to the junkyard. I got another lens for actually the whole housing I got for $25. Just the lens from LMC is $50. So $25 for a whole cluster with all the gauges and stuff. So I swapped this lens out with that lens after I polished it up. Probably can't tell, but there's a little bit of hazing on it that I couldn't get out. And this is what I use on all the plastic and all the chrome or paint or anything that I want to make clean and shiny. I use this on. I even clean the headlights on my Camry with this whenever they start to turn yellow. This and a paper towel is all you need, and it will clean it up. Because when I started with that, you could not see through it at all. It was completely yellow, and this is only maybe 15 minutes of work, just kind of going over it a couple passes. So that's kind of what it looked like. A lot of that is dirt, but you can see it's hazy. This is the one that I just got, and I'm going to repolish it out. So I've seen some videos where they're doing multiple passes with all kinds of different polish, and I just use that, and I don't have any issues. So I'll show you the bumper on the truck, the rear bumper. I polished it with that also, and it's a big difference. So gauge cluster, all new bulbs in it. Save you money on the bulbs. I got these from Advance. I got 2 boxes. 2 boxes are $54. If you can get set up with a commercial account, then 2 boxes is $12. So get a commercial account, you save a lot of money. So $12, 2 boxes instead of $54 for 2 boxes. So the guy hooked me up. I'm always in there buying stuff anyways. For the seat, I got the new side covers. Terrific, great. I ordered the screws that they said I needed to order. at $2 a piece. You need 10 of them, so 20 bucks. These are the wrong screws. So if you order the screws for the side pieces for your seat, don't bother ordering the screws because they're wrong. The screw that you actually need is this style, which is flat and a Phillips. The only one that would be remotely close is that, because it sits down inside of it. But even still, you need the next size up, because this basically will fall through that hole. So you need the next size up. You're better off just going to Lowe's and getting them. So save you on that. And then I went to the junkyard and I bought this broken cluster. You can see it's missing the whole radio section. Charged me a whopping $5 for it. Well, I got it because it had the stainless trim on it, which I assumed was stainless. Well, apparently it's not really stainless. It's just plastic painted to look like stainless. So that's what it looks like after I repainted it. I don't think it looks too bad. It's pretty close to stainless. If you compare it, this is the stainless that was in the truck, and then that is my new stainless. I repainted the inside of the gauge pods and stuff. I'll probably end up doing a repaint, but you can see it's a little messed up. But that's what it looks like, repainted, and aluminum. And the paint that I use is aluminum engine paint. 3 light coats and then 1 heavy coat. And you have to, in order to get it to come out like that, you need to shake that can forever. Just keep shaking it. If you're spraying it on steel, then you only got to shake it for a little bit. But on plastic, shake it for 5 minutes, do your light coat. Continue shaking it while your light coat is drying, do another light coat. Continue shaking, do another light coat, continue shaking the can, and then do your heavy coat and let it dry. And that'll get you to where it looks like that. I don't know why, but on plastic, I guess the plastic just sucks in the color. So I'll save you on that. It usually comes out pretty good. I did the heads and stuff on the truck and on the Mustang. You can see how aluminum those look. But on plastic, it just doesn't. You got to shake the tar out of it. Then I got the carpet. And I watched a couple of videos of people putting the carpet in. And I didn't like that they were cutting it so short at the firewall. So here's the black carpet, which I think is actually pretty nice. But once you get the back of it lined up, I was wondering if it would actually reach to the back of the cab, and I'm glad that it does. It has all the indents in there for everything. So this is actually a really good carpet. The box isn't listed as ACC carpet, but I'm sure it's probably ACC carpet. But yeah, a lot of people cut it really short because they can't get it to go up underneath it. And since the AC box isn't permanently bolted in, I don't have everything in there. I'm going to do the extra work, and I'm going to pull this AC box back out, because you can see all the slack that I have. This whole hump is all the slack. So I'm going to pull the AC back out. I'm also going to take the gas pedal out, and I might even undo the fuse box. But I don't want to see any of that insulation in there. So if it takes a little bit more work and it will cover up all that insulation, that's what I want to do. So next video I do will be with the interior together with the bench seat in here. Hopefully most of the interior will be in here. But if you want it to look good, sometimes you just got to do a little bit of extra work. So that's what I'm going to do. That's the update on it. You can see your pad needs to be like way up there than how they have it cut. So either way, all this needs to go all the way up in there. So I'll do another video once I get most of it back together. I still got to get the headliner, the dash pad, seat belts, the plastic, one shipment at a time. Was getting there. That's it.